So James Gunn has brought us Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so I thought it'd be a good time to be able to rank all of James Gunn's movies and projects that he has made. So let's get to it. So James Gunn has gave us a great amount of movies and projects that he's done over the past years, and all of them, or at least most of them, have been enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to be ranking all of his projects, all his movies that he's done, going from the bottom to the top. Starting off at the bottom for me is going to be Slither. Now this is kind of an alien invasion movie, kind of paying homage to like classic horror movies. And I gotta say, this movie is definitely a creepy one. It was definitely a creepy one to watch when I checked it out for the first time recently. It's definitely kind of interesting when it comes to like sort of a alien invasion body snatchers kind of movie. Of course, you get a lot of familiar people in this movie. You know, a lot of James Gunn's friends appear in this movie, like he does with all his movies. But like I said, this one is definitely weird. Just the way some I'm not sure if there was practical effects used or not, but this was definitely a weird, creepy, kind of disgusting movie. I gotta say. It was a weird watch. I gotta say, like I said, I checked it out recently for the first time, and I just gotta say it was definitely a weird watch. Moving to the next one on the list in this ranking is going to be Super. Now this is a movie that he did, I believe, in around 2009, 2010. Basically, this movie plays out like, what if a normal person, just rises up and tries to become a superhero. Basically that's kind of what the story is telling it. And this movie is kind of interesting. It took me a little bit while to actually get into the movie, like kind of start kind of enjoying it and liking it a little bit more. It took me a little bit, but nonetheless it was still kind of an interesting movie, to where you get this man who's just down on his luck and all that stuff, and he just decides to rise up and take on crime for himself, become a superhero of sorts. And he takes on a sidekick also, and basically this movie is just playing out like that. Like I said, it took me a little bit to actually get into it, and like kind of like the movie and all that, but still kind of a solid watch, I'll say. Moving on to the next one on the list is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I really enjoyed this holiday special that James Gunn put out. So awesome. Only like a quick little special, clocking in only at 45 minutes. But we get this awesome, crazy adventure with Drax and Mantis going on a adventure to kidnap Kevin Bacon and bring him to Star-Lord for Christmas. This one had a bunch of hijinks, a bunch of craziness in it, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Had such an awesome time, had such a fun time watching this holiday special. It was definitely a great addition to Guardians of the Galaxy, and just having this special, it was a lot of fun. Definitely going to be on my watch list for Christmas each year, probably, because I enjoyed it so much. Moving on to the next one on the list is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, this one is the lower end when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy movies. This one's kind of on the lower end. By no means is it a bad movie. It's still a pretty solid movie. But if I just had to rank them, this one would be on the lower end of the list for me when it comes to the other movies. And I still like this one. This one's definitely an enjoyable movie. Still has a great soundtrack to it, and does a lot of great things. But like I said, if I had to rank the movies of Guardians of the Galaxy, this one's going to be the lower one on the list. But like I said, that's not a bash against it. I still enjoy this movie. I still like this movie. It's still a fun time to watch it. Moving to the next one is going to be Peacemaker. Now, this is a show that James Gunn directed most of the episodes. He wrote it. And that first season, how we got a Peacemaker with John Cena. So hilarious, so funny. It was such an awesome season. It really was one of those shows that I enjoyed watching, that we were able to get, that we haven't really gotten in a long time. I just enjoyed watching it episode to episode. Like as soon as we got a new episode, I was already there as soon as I can, trying to watch that new episode, because it was so good when it came to this series. And James Gunn did such a phenomenal job with giving us this character of Peacemaker. Basically a Peacemaker was like hated, and people didn't like him in Suicide Squad, but he gave us this series to where it's like people were like questioning, like, why are we getting a series about Peacemaker when people don't like him and stuff like that. But he gave you this series of this with this character, and he made you feel for the character. He made you like the character, like see his story and all that stuff. And just the overall season was awesome, and so well done, hilarious and funny. And that intro, never skipped the intro when it came to watching a new episode. Always watch the intro. The intro is so funny and awesome. But man, Peacemaker was a job well done by James Gunn. Moving on to the next one on the list is going to be Suicide Squad, back from 2021. James Gunn was definitely the right person when it came to making a Suicide Squad movie, giving us these obscure characters that nobody really knew, basically the same way he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. giving us this set of characters that nobody really knew, but actually making us feel for them, actually making us like these characters, and giving us this movie, giving us this story of this story of misfits and all that coming together to form this team, and just gave us one crazy hell of a movie with Suicide Squad. And I enjoyed this movie so much. It was hilarious, awesome, and just giving us these characters that nobody really knew, obscure characters nobody knew, and just the same way he did Guardians of the Galaxy, putting them at the forefront and making us like these characters. And I like the story that he was able to tell with this movie, and having this character of this team of characters, and he did a great job with the Suicide Squad movie. Moving on to the next one on the list is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Now, this was such a phenomenal movie when it came to, like I was saying, bringing obscure characters from the comics that nobody really knew about, bringing them to the forefront, giving us this movie, giving us this story, and being able to make them a household name within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I gotta say, this movie is still one of my favorites in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did such a great job with this first movie, giving us this character, this team, giving us this story in this movie, and being able to just give us these characters that nobody really knew about, but they became household names. They became likable characters, lovable characters, really. And just being able to give us this movie, James Gunn did such a awesome, phenomenal job with this first outing with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and knocked it out of the park with this movie. But we get to the top spot, and that's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for me when it comes to the top spot, when it comes to all his projects and movies ranked. This one was such a phenomenal job that he was able to do with this movie, did such amazing things with it. It's definitely a devastating emotional roller coaster, but we get a sort of happy ending towards the end. Feel good, happy ending. And just, it was a blast to watch this movie. Like I said, of course, it was a devastating emotional roller coaster with this movie, but it was still such a fun time, still such a blast to be able to watch this movie and bringing a close to this trilogy of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and giving us this finale, giving us this book-ending story to these characters, to this team that we loved seeing on screen for almost close to 10 years. And just being able to give us this movie, it was such an awesome movie. It was so phenomenal and amazing, and definitely is going to be one of my favorites in the MCU. I think this is his best work so far, and I think it deserves to be at the top of this ranking when it comes to all his movies and projects that he's done. So, top spot for me is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Such a phenomenal and amazing movie that he's been able to do with this, and just all the movies that he's done with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Awesome. It's just amazing. Awesome. But yeah, I definitely want to see what James Gunn does in the future. He's now officially going over to DC, now running DC. So I am looking forward to seeing what he's able to do with DC, with his new DC slate. Looking forward to see what he's able to do with that. So hopefully we're going to get a lot more great, amazing projects and movies and different works from him in the future when it comes to DC. So I'm looking forward to that. But let me know down in the comments below if you were able to rank all of James Gunn's movies and projects that he's done. How would you rank them? That's going to do it all for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Remember, if you want to be a part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope you all have an awesome day. And remember, be legendary.